I used to think that there was more than one media layer. Let me just say it like that. And so I would talk about the background layer and the foreground layer. But there are no background and foreground layers. That is how media acts. They call them behaviors in ProPresenter. But there's only one media layer. So if we head presented by Church Tech U, it's the ProPresenter show. On today's show, things that I've been wrong about with ProPresenter. Hi, and welcome again to the ProPresenter Show. This is the show where, of course, I teach you all about ProPresenter. My name is Paul Allen Clifford. And before we get started, if you've learned some stuff that you thought it was one way, but in fact it was totally different, tell me about it in the comments. And while you're at it, like, subscribe, and share this with someone that might find it interesting. So it's important to know that I don't know everything about ProPresenter. There's so much to know. There's some stuff that I have known, but I don't use as much, so I've forgotten. But there's other stuff that initially I was wrong about. And so in the interest of, first off, being entertaining, but also in the interest of sharing so that maybe you don't feel like, oh, I'll never get all this. I thought that I would share just a list of a few things that I was wrong about when it comes to ProPresenter. So the first of these things is that I used to tell people if they had a problem, they should just downgrade to the previous version that they were using before that didn't have whatever that problem is. But that's not always the best advice. So there's a couple of situations I want to go through. Number one, sometimes they change something, and so if you downgrade, then your files will have been affected by that, and it will cause you problems. So that's thing number one. It's probably worth, from time to time, doing a backup, especially right before you do an upgrade, just to make sure that if something were to go wrong, that you're good to go. So it's worth having a backup of stuff probably most of the time, and that's a good time to do it. Just anytime you're going to do an upgrade, just go ahead and make a copy of that ProPresenter folder, move it off of that drive, just so that you have it. So that's the first situation. The second situation is sometimes it's not a problem with the upgrade. Sometimes it's actually a problem with your files that the upgrade has revealed. And if you don't deal with it then and there, you'll run into problems with subsequent versions of ProPresenter. This is something that I hear all the time. Oh, I haven't had a good version of ProPresenter since version fill in the blank with the number here. And everyone else is like, no, that one was great for me, blah, blah, blah. Well, what's going on is that you had a problem with one of your files, and instead of addressing the problem with that file, which it could be that the new version has shown you that you have a problem with the file that the previous version was more tolerant of, instead of dealing with that, since subsequent versions are going to build off of that, you're thinking, oh, 3 major versions all are horrible, when in fact, had you dealt with it when you first had that problem, it would have solved the problem for you. And the bad versions were not actually bad. So that's why I don't default to telling people to downgrade. Maybe that's a stopgap measure sometimes, but in general, you should find out what's actually going on, because you might find that, oh no, actually this is a perfectly good version. It's just this song it doesn't like for some reason, whatever. So that's the first thing that I was totally wrong about when it came to ProPresenter. The second thing, I used to think that there was more than one media layer. Let me just say it like that. And so I would talk about the background layer and the foreground layer. But there are no background and foreground layers. That is how media acts. they call them behaviors in ProPresenter, but there's only one media layer. So if we head over to the computer here, and let me just show you one of these media playlists here. Yeah, so sermon media right here. If I look at this, this is all on the media layer, which the clear button is this guy right up here, the this little line drawing of the landscape. That's the media layer. There's only one media layer, and it doesn't matter if something has the foreground behavior so that it acts more like a slide, or the background behavior so that it is persistent until it's replaced or removed. In fact, one piece of media can have both behaviors. So if I go here and let me find a song here. Yeah, maybe this one. Okay, so I can drag this on here, and it has the foreground behavior because the line drawing is on the top. And now if I right click here and change the behavior to background, like these videos, but you'd really like to learn from me in person, well, I've got some great news for you. I am traveling around the country and maybe even around the world training churches on how to use ProPresenter. So I've got a either a 1 or a 1.5 day class that you can attend. For more details, head on over to TDM.fyi/events24, the top one right here, and register for the event nearest you. If there is no event that's near you, no problem. You can request one. So head on over to tdm.fyi/class request. That's this one down here. And you can say, hey, I'm interested in attending a class, or even I'm interested in hosting a class. Up to you which you prefer. In the last one, that is just information. It's not obligation, so don't hesitate to put your information in there, and I'll let you know when there's a class in your area, or we'll talk about what it takes to host a class. It's probably a lot less than you imagine that it is. So head over there, and I look forward to meeting you in person. There we go. So the background, I click on it, and it's persistent. I click on the foreground, and it is not, because it's the case that it's one file, but they're acting two different ways. But they're both acting that way from the media layer. So that's why one replaces the other. They're both on the same layer, even though they act a little bit differently. So that's another thing that I got totally wrong about ProPresenter back in the day. Speaking of things that I got totally wrong, I used to just assume that if I didn't know about it, that ProPresenter couldn't do it. And it wasn't that I was, really full of myself or anything like that. I thought it was more limited than it was. So here's a perfect example. There was a time when I thought that the only way to import PowerPoint was to import it as images. I didn't think that it could bring in text as text files, etc. Well, that's not true. Now, with ProPresenter 7 and newer, it's true of the Windows version that you can only import images from PowerPoint files, basically screen captures of those slides. But in ProPresenter 7 and newer for Mac, you can bring in just screen captures, or just text, or you can bring in text and image files as ProPresenter objects. So it's a little more flexible than that. Now, it doesn't bring in animations, as far as I know. I think that's true. But it is the case that there are a lot of things that ProPresenter can do that you may not know that it can do. And so anytime that I'm teaching an in-person class and someone says, oh, can ProPresenter, I sometimes, just to be funny, I'll cut them off at when they say ProPresenter. So can ProPresenter? Yes. Most of the time that's true. Now sometimes you have to be a little creative in how you can get it to do some stuff, but most of the time the answer is yes. So play multiple videos at the same time? Yes. Send different stuff out to the lobby, vestibule, etc., than what is showing in the sanctuary? Yes. Those are the kinds of answers that I give. And can ProPresenter control my lighting? Yes. Can ProPresenter turn on my projectors? Sometimes, yes. Now you have to use something else, but yes. So a lot of times ProPresenter can do things that you may not know that it can do. So that's worth mentioning as well. Finally, and this is kind of along the same lines of not knowing that ProPresenter could do it, in earlier versions, it wasn't immediately obvious where this was located, and once I found it, it just rocked my world. So back here at the computer, if we go into Bibles here, in ProPresenter 6 and earlier, this button down here, which you may not have even noticed here, was a little gear. So you would click on that button to do these three things down here. Actually, let me just do a search for John 3:16, by the way. Notice I am only typing in the first three letters of the book name, 3 space, and the verse number. So when I do that, very helpful for Ecclesiastes, by the way, just in case you can't remember how to spell that. Isaiah, if you leave out one of the A's, things like that. So anyway, once you do that, you can click down here and you have 3 options for saving. Save as just saves it in a library. That's why I have a scripture library, for that very reason. Copy to selected presentation. If I had the sermon selected, I could select it. But let's say I'm right here and I'm on a song and I forgot, I don't have to get out of that. I can just select any other presentation from this and then copy it to the selected presentation. Or if I want to save it to a playlist by itself, it'll allow that. So that is something else that ProPresenter can do that you may not have known that it can do. So one last thing, and this is probably the most, there are 2 things, one just popped into my head. The most common thing that people get wrong, and I probably got this wrong initially, I just can't remember that I did, is instead of calling it Pro or Pro 7 or Pro 6 for ProPresenter 6, they call it PP. Don't giggle. Don't giggle. Don't giggle. Or they call it ProPres or ProPre or some other thing. No. The abbreviation is Pro. The other thing is that they think that it's broken if instead of looking here, instead of looking like this, it looks like this. Not broken. That is, in fact, easy view mode. I watched the announcement, so I was never wrong about that. I saw them talking about that when Pro 7 was announced, but that's another thing that people get wrong. You can undo it just by double tapping the tilde, or down here at the bottom, you see these 4 boxes. If it looks like this, click on the little 4 boxes and it'll look like a preview of the slide again. So that's probably the most common question that I get. Oh no, it's broken, it looks wrong. Since this update, it looks wrong. No, it's probably just because the tilde key is right there on the edge of the keyboard. you brushed it or something fell on the keyboard or something, and it went into that mode, which is called Easy View mode, which you'll notice makes it a lot easier to read. It's great for people like myself that just need glasses for reading even close to them. So that is something else that I was wrong about when it comes to ProPresenter, and stuff that others are wrong about as well. If you like this content, you'd probably like my ProPresenter Quick Start course. So head on over to TDM.fyi/pro and quick. Give me your name and email address, and I'll make a login for you for free. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.